first out of the theater review, Captain America: Brave New World. I was trying to stay away from social media's reviews because I heard that heard some bad things. Out of the movie, I kind of enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of
You're kidding
fun.
me. You
No,
did
no,
like
no.
it?
Yeah,
So wait,
actually,
for
because you
everybody,
know what?
wait. For everybody listening, Fletcher and I made a vow not to talk about it, though we went to see the film together, that we would not talk, not even in the car. We would not talk until we first talked with you all. So this is my first time hearing what he thinks, and he'll hear what I think. Okay, go for it. Go ahead,
Right.
Fletcher.
So for me, I felt that it was cheesy. It was almost like Marvel was like the A grade of hero movies. I think they downgraded that to like a B movie, and I quite enjoy a B movie. And to me, it felt like going back to like the luchadores movies that I used to watch as a kid, and were in El Santo, and they would do all these ridiculous things out of nowhere, and sometimes the plot made no sense because they were copy and pasting together different movies. And this is what I'm sorry, this is what this movie felt like for me. All I can say is that I felt like I was in a luchador movie, and to me, I had a good time. I actually had a good time with that because once I decided, okay, this is not First Avenger or the Winter Soldier or Captain America Civil War. This is a completely new. I was able to have fun with the movie, and I quite enjoy some of the performances.
Tell us
Uh,
about that. What did you enjoy?
okay, so I did enjoy. I did see. I believe. What is his name? So, Carl Lumbly, right? Who plays Isaiah Bradley? Who, if you didn't watch the TV show, uh, Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he is the original Captain America. They experimented on the super soldier serum, and there was some stuff happening when America betrayed him, and all this kind of stuff. His performance, I thought, was beautiful. Hats off to this man. He's a beautiful actor. Any scene he was on, he stole it for me. And
I
he's
would
just
agree.
guy
I thought he
also
was.
with this whole suit.
I
Oh, come on.
I'm not aware of this actor. He did look familiar to me. I just can't place him, but I will say he did put in some really amazing performances. He's so expressive with his expressions, with his eyes. He's very earnest as an actor. He draws you right in. I think he did put in a class A performance. But I'm going to jump in here, but I don't think he can save this film. I cannot believe, Fletcher, you enjoyed it. I was like, oh my gosh, what a terrible film. But you know what? What you say really changes my mind a little bit to this extent, because at the end, I was coming around. If the film were just a little bit longer, not saying it should be longer, it's short for a
Right.
Marvel film. I
Yeah,
said to
the film
myself,
was, yeah.
I said to myself, actually, I'm looking at this film wrong. And I guess I should have talked to you and I would have known it, because I said, they're doing this film almost as though it were a home reel of a TV show. If it were like almost a B cut of a documentary. And that's
Right.
on purpose. I was waiting for it to become more polished, more put together. But I do believe that is what it's going for. And so I at the end started to appreciate it a little bit more. But I will tell you what was difficult for me, Fletcher. I think, if I'm going to start with the negatives and then go to the positives, I do think
Okay.
we have the positive of Carl Lumbly. He's a brilliant actor, a veteran actor. He's amazing.
Right.
I mean, I can say a couple of other good things before I go to say what I think was not as good about it. I do think that overall the performances were solid. Harrison Ford is a veteran at this. He definitely can play the president pretty well. There was in general a pretty uniformity in terms of like the professionalism of it. But I guess what I thought was weak, I thought the writing was one of the worst I've ever seen or heard in Marvel. It was positively wooden. I mean, the dialogue, I don't mean they couldn't do much with the script. As far as I'm concerned, some of the dialogue was so prosaic. It was sort of like,
Right.
honestly, some of it felt like, what are you doing? I know that like on shows like The Office or whatever, it seems like on purpose we're being dull. We're talking about something that doesn't matter. Like, hey, you gonna get a coffee? Well, I'll get a coffee too. Well, last week we got it. I mean,
Right.
there was a little bit of that, and I'm like, where is this going? Most of the times in Marvel, when I've seen it, the dialogue is electric. I mean, even if it's something like, I'm going to go get my shield. I mean, everything has like this double meaning, and it has like a lot of, lift off. This one was deliberately, I think, left down to the earth. There's definitely a lot of DEI going on with this film. I mean, we have, you have to explain to the audience, because I don't know all these characters, but the little girl, she's a grown woman who's a security head for the president that I think soaking wet is 65 pounds. And it's just as scary as your like 9-year-old brother in a costume. And she like kicks the butt of like 10 people. You have the obligatory Black woman who's playing another like advisor to the president in a security role, which, just seems a little bit unrealistic. I love seeing Black actors. I think it's good to give them a shot, but it also has to kind of make sense. We already have Captain America. You don't have to fulfill every slot, y'all. It's okay. I don't need to see myself in everybody. I see it already. I like everybody. I don't have to see myself, writ large on every screen. I thought that was a little bit of, although they played themselves well, I think the Black woman did well. I think this young white woman who's 65 pounds, soaking wet, is also a good actress, but it didn't bring a lot to the role. To me, it was too unrealistic, which made it a little bit distracting. And I just don't know about this story. I know you said we're not going to do spoilers, so I won't talk about that. But I will say, generally, I would love to know what people think. Please write us in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, by the way.
No, that is true. So what would you give it, like 1 to 10?
That's a great question. If it were a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, I have to say, now that we're talking, I probably would be between a 6 and a 7, which is not the worst. But compared to, and only because, by the way, we should say we saw it in 3D. I would not tell you to splurge on 3D. I don't think it's a great 3D movie. We saw Avatar in 3D. That made a lot of sense. I think you had to see that one in 3D, right? I'm not sure. Maybe not. No, they had regular 2D versions of it, but 3D is really a great way to see Avatar. It really comes alive. We've seen other ones like that. This one, I don't think you should splurge on it. So if you have that temptation, just resist it. Don't do the 3D option. I think it is an enjoyable night out. I don't think it's a terrible movie, although I said it was terrible when I started. I think it's just terrible compared to my expectations. When I come to Marvel, I've seen some really good ones. I think Infinity War was excellent, or Endgame. I think some of the other ones are just really, really great. The dialogue, the plot, the way the characters work with each other. There's so much chemistry. I don't think there's a lot of chemistry between Anthony Mackie and who is the Latino guy who plays him, Fletch?
Oh gosh,
whatever the character is. They're both really great, but there's not a lot of chemistry. One thing that was great with forgive me, the white Captain America, I forget his name. What's great about him is that he really has good chemistry with almost everyone he's with on screen. Anthony Mackie definitely has a lot of screen charisma. There's no question about it. He's electrifying. He's good to watch, but he doesn't really connect with anyone. You don't really feel, with the slight exception of the Carl Lumbly character you mentioned. Okay. Carl Lumbly, the Black man, the older super soldier, he kind of has a little bit of a moment with him a couple of times. But even with him, Fletcher, he doesn't fully connect. I don't know if that's something, again, with the way it's being directed, if it's the writing, or if it's Anthony Mackie. Chris Evans, thanks, Sir Glenn. White Captain America. Sorry, Chris Evans. Chris Evans has such a way about himself. I mean, I don't like his politics, and I wish he would shut up. In fact, I wish all these guys would shut up. Shut up and sing. Please don't tell me what you think about politics, because I don't really care. You're not somebody I look up to for that. I am amazed by your talent. I'm amazed by your good looks. Sorry. No offense to everybody. But I'm not amazed by, what goes in your brain about, whom to vote for or what policies, I'm sorry, no offense, but I look to other people for that. And so I care about you on the screen, but I care about you as a human being. I hope you go to heaven. But other than that, please don't bother me with your stuff. But Chris Evans, despite the fact that, he's spoken out of turn about politics, he's brilliant when it comes to establishing a rapport. When he's talking to Natasha, who plays the, Black Widow, whatever she's called, the Russian character, or when he's with Hawkeye, or when he's with this guy, when he was, I guess, Falcon or whatever, he just has a way where you feel like that character, Captain America, Chris Evans as the character, has known them for centuries. You really believe that. Something in the twinkle of his eye, the way he touches them on the shoulder, he uses the dialogue and the direction to establish a rapport. You feel like you're in an intimate moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this guy, Anthony Mackie, does not have that. He has other things. He's a good actor, excellent actor, but there's no chemistry with him and anybody else on the screen. Nobody. I don't believe for a second that he knows the Harrison Ford character who plays the president and they've gone way back. I don't believe the guy who's going to be the new Falcon and he go way back or have friends. I don't believe that he's friendly with the lady who plays, Sabra. I don't believe that, I just don't believe any of it. I mean, he doesn't. The only thing I kind of get is that he and Isaiah Bradley, the Carl Lumbly character, might have had a little bit, he might have been trained by him. And that's all I can get.
Right.
And that takes it away from me. And I don't know if that's a fault of the actor. Is he a diva and doesn't actually know how to connect with people? Or is that the direction? I don't know. But to me, it makes it a little bit less engaging as a film. That's what I want to see. I'm not like you all. You nerds who know all the storylines, Fletcher, who love the action. I'm a girl. I like to see the relationships on screen because even when they have amazing action like the Avengers and the Marvel, all the stuff usually does, they also have really good family relationships, right? Remember the time, Fletcher, which one is it where they go to, is it Hawkeye's house and his family?
Oh yeah. That
Remember
was
how
in the
touching it is? And
yeah.
when they're under siege, oh man, you feel that, right? I mean, that's an action movie. Boys like it, but also it has a lot of the human element that I think a lot of people like myself go to see. And so I think it lacked that, but I'll defer to you. What do you think?
Yeah, I do think that they had a little bit. Like I said, if you go in there thinking you're gonna go see a B movie and you enjoy it, there are some a few lulls in the script, and it just feels like there's a lot of things that are discombobulated, like paced together. I like how Sir Glenn said that Marvel is down to cut and paste, and yeah, they are. They are down to cut and paste because it did feel very jigjaw. But I gotta say, I went in there, like I said, looking like I'm gonna go see a luchador movie, and literally that's what it felt like. It really harkened back to watching luchador movies that are completely B movies. Um, the villain is wacky. The excuse me, the characters are wacky. The female side cast, are definitely wacky. And every time I saw the Sabra character, I mean, I'm sorry, guys. When you see it, it's
He
gonna be.
literally laughed, you all.
I
Every time
literally
she came
laughed
on screen,
because
he laughed out loud. And I
yeah,
had to
they have
tell
this
him if
girl
he didn't
playing like
stop,
a
I was gonna walk out.
yeah, it was like some kind of Black Widow thing, and it just was crazy. Because the girl it has to. She looks like a little girl, she's like 4 foot, and she's playing it's called Sabra, which is an Israel like superhero. Uh, but I'm sorry, she has. I want to say a joke because it's almost she has no weight to her because she's literally
Ha ha ha.
like 2 pounds soaking wet, and every time you see her, it's just wacky. It's wacky to see. Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah,
think
yeah. Tim Blake played he was actually not that bad.
Tim Blake Nelson.
Yeah, the makeup though, Sir Glenn, is atrocious.
It's atrocious.
But that's what I'm saying. It adds to the B movie.
It
I
feels
swear,
like a B movie.
if they had like the soundtrack be a little bit more protruding in it, it was pretty heightened. If they had like the soundtrack be a little bit overstated, kind of like in the '70s movies, I think it would have done a little bit more. But yeah, he was great as an actor, but
It was
it was over the
really
top.
It was garish. I mean, I do think some of the visuals were uneven. Like his makeup,
Right.
his sort of persona didn't seem to fit the rest of the film. And but again, I think it does have that kind of home movie quality to it, which may be intentional. I'm not sure. Um, but you were talking about the woman, right? I forgot what I was going to tell you about that. I was going to pick up
Oh,
on
the
something you
Sabra
said.
girl.
Maybe, oh yeah, is Sabra the brand name for hummus?
He
how long
probably is the
how
hummus, but she's his
how
real.
long has yeah, how long has it been the name? Is that a name from the
Oh
character
yeah,
in the
that's from
comics?
the my understanding, and I think it's from the '70s. Even like before I got into comics, um, I've known that they had like an Israel like superhero or something like that. But she she's supposed to look like this. You know what I mean? And she did not look like that. you know, she did not look. She has
And
no
oh, that's what I
musculature.
was going to say. It was very okay. It's bad enough you have an actress
Right.
who, at best, seems to me, from my visual cues, 4 feet 11. I mean, there's no way
Right.
that woman is 5 feet tall. And
No.
on a good day, like having like eaten 2 burgers and like stuffed herself with milkshakes, she can't weigh more than 80 pounds. And I think that's really pushing it. I think it's more like in the 70s. There's no question about that. I mean, that's what I see. But the movie did something terrible. I don't know if the cinematographer is trying to make a point, because they did something that you don't do, which is show like massive men and then pan to her. And you remember how they did that many times?
Oh yeah.
They didn't, like, most times what I understand with the industry, if somebody is shorter, first of all, you give them, some kind of inserts in their shoes, and you're careful about making sure that they either are standing on something else, so they don't, if they're an important character, they don't look, you know, kind of shrunken next to other people, right? You don't do that. For example, Tom Cruise is kind of diminutive in terms of his height. I mean,
Right.
he's kind of
He's
built
very
up.
short.
He's actually pretty, yeah, he's on the shorter side, but he's built up. But they are very careful not to highlight that. When he's with taller actors, they shoot different angles, so it looks like they're kind of even. Maybe he's a little bit shorter, but not much shorter. I don't know who doesn't like this chick, but every time they showed her, she looked like a little dwarf, like a little elf on the side. Do you remember that? It's like they pan. It's like,
Yeah,
oh my
it's
gosh. It's like,
literally.
who's your little sister? What's she doing here? What movie
What's
is
she
this?
doing? Oh,
Is
that's so
that
cute. They
Marsha?
brought her along. Yeah.
Literally, and made her look so, not even like sexy, like cute little thing. No, no, no. Like you look like
No,
your kid
no. It's
sister,
just
like
yeah,
kid
and
sister
her
vibe.
clothes look over like she's wearing. She looks like uh with the talking heads. With that suit, big old suit.
It was not good.
It
I
was
mean,
not
that
good.
they should have reshot those scenes when they did that. They should have done a better job of making her look at least kind of, like the sultry, but maybe small and devastating, kind of like
Yeah,
what
she's
they do
supposed to be
with
a Black Widow.
Natasha. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's not. I don't know.
yeah,
She has good moments. I think she's a great actress. I do think she's pretty. I like her, but it doesn't fit the film. It's something weird about that didn't go well. This
yeah.
scene here, or maybe not this one, but when we're not gonna do spoilers really, but we could, when Captain America fights with the big being. Okay, so we're not going to go into spoilers. I found that kind of disturbing. I don't know about you,
Mm.
Fletcher. I thought that was too. I don't want to see Captain America be that much on the ropes. What do you think?
Mhm. Yeah, I think it. I, I guess I'm in the ropes with it because by that time I was full on. This is ridiculous. So whatever happens, happens type of attitude. So I was like, sure, what the heck? Because I mean, if I don't want to get into spoilers, but it, he does feel like like every scene. It looks like he has extra powers and different gadgets with the wings that you were like, how come he didn't use that before? So it's uh it's interesting. Like I said, it's one of those things where if you go in thinking this is a B movie that I'm just gonna have fun, like old martial arts movies and all like black exploitation movies and stuff like that, or it's just um I thought it was a good I thought it was a good
I
time.
mean, we have to move on to our birds on the wire, but can I
Right.
say this, Fletcher? I think the dialogue is so wooden. And
Right.
listen, for those listening, Fletcher and I do not believe in substance. We don't do anything, drinking, alcohol, drugs, anything like that. But I will tell you, having been close friends and family members with those who do, and listening to them, this is the kind of movie I think you need to have a glass of wine or two or three and then go see. Like, you need to put your feet up, because you've got to, it's the kind of things that it's only going to, there were a couple funny things. I remember laughing a couple times, but
Yeah.
mostly it's wooden dialogue that's kind of like, again, like you're in a luchador movie or you're in one of those movies that's meant to be kind of ironic. And it's going to be funnier if you want to go to be entertained. You might have a better time if you bring something to enliven you, like, for us, it was
Go to the
popcorn.
adult movie theaters.
Bring an adult beverage and then have a good time.
If you go with your friends, definitely go with your friends and go hang out.
Valium. Valium. You might want it. I think it would be more enjoyable with that.
Yeah.
And listen, this is not a pan movie. Again, Fletcher asked me scale of 1 to 10, and Fletcher, I need you to tell us what your number would be. I gave it between a 6 and a 7. That's respectable. Okay. It's not like Ishtar. I'm not giving it 2 or 3. I think it's respectable. I just don't think it lives up to the hype, and it doesn't live up to the legacy.
Right, and I would give it like a 6.5 actually too.
Oh, we're on the same page.
Yeah, we're literally on the same page. Like I said, you just can't go in there thinking it's a Captain America movie like you've seen before. This is not that. We're going back to the 80s Captain America, to the 70s type deal. This is something different. If you go in there thinking of something different, you'll have a good time. And it's wacky.
There's not much of a plot, you guys. Like, don't go looking for
and you know what? A part of that I didn't like. It's a lot of cussing and a lot of taking the Lord's name in vain.
Yeah, we didn't
for no reason whatsoever. It didn't move the plot. It's just to be like, hey, look, we're cool. We're drinking, we're cavorting. So, yeah. But yeah, that's our out of the theater Captain America.
See it if you have nothing better to do.
Yeah, why not? Go check it out.